What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today is going to be a special day. We're actually doing a Zoom interview with my good buddy all the way from Pennsylvania. So, make sure you share it with all your friends and all your loved ones because this story is going to be super powerful. But good to be here with you, my man. Do you want to introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, how you doing, man? I appreciate you guys having me on. I've been anxious about it. So my name's Ron. Recovering addict. I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania, which is like the Philly area. Um, my drugs of choice were basically everything. But primarily in the beginning, it was fentanyl. I didn't really get too involved with heroin because of when I started my addiction. So mostly fentanyl, and then cocaine secondary. So yeah, I live in Williamsport, Pennsylvania now. I'm 29 years old. Been sober 2 years and 3 days. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks.
That's awesome, man. Cool. And it's cool how we met because I just, you popped up on my Facebook and then I was like,
Yeah,
who's this guy? Because you always share like inspirational stuff and you're
yeah,
real super motivational, super outgoing. So I watched a couple of your videos and I was like, oh, you had a cool following. You had like, you know, a few thousand, I think like 10,000 or more.
I think it's 31.
31. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, hey, 31. Get the numbers right.
I
But
ain't mad at you, man.
man, so yeah, I just I thought it'd be good to connect and you're super
Yeah.
chill and you reached out, you weren't you were on it, you messaged me
Yeah.
back and all kinds of stuff like that. So I appreciate you, man. But I know you're a lot of people are getting motivated from your Facebook and all your social channels. So that's awesome, man. And I think it's really good for people like you and people like us to share about how they're overcoming because there's a lot of people sharing about how they're stuck or how they're doing worse. And
Yeah.
I think it's good for people to share about how they're doing better because people need to
Hmm.
see that. And it ain't all negative. There is positive things happening. And
Yeah.
just because you started at the bottom doesn't mean you need to stay there.
Nope.
So I'm excited to have you on, man. But I know you shared that you have 2 years of sobriety. Can you share? We want to share a little bit about your journey in sobriety or journey to sobriety. Can you share some key moments or experiences that led you to your sobriety?
Yeah. So it was a everything, throughout my addiction. Everything played a part, all every the bad situations I've been in, stuff like that. But what it was for me towards my last couple runs, just the feeling of being disappointed, like being a disappointment. Nobody trusted me. I was just sick. I was getting down to nothing. I didn't have anything. I was to the point where I was basically homeless in Kensington.
Mm.
Um, I started talking to my fiance. She, obviously for me first, I wanted to get clean. But she gave me a lot of motivation to want to really change my life because I
Mm.
knew she was a good girl. Um, she was there for me when it wasn't even cool to be there for me. I didn't have anything to offer.
Mm.
And yeah, it was just I wanted to make my
How
mom
long
proud.
have you been with her?
It'll be 2 years. It just passed on the third. 2 years.
So you got with her right when you got clean and sober?
Yeah, yeah,
Nice. It's like God's
yeah.
gift to you, huh?
That's what it was, and I was hesitant because how people would look at her,
Yeah.
because of me and my situation.
Yeah.
Me as an addict, I know you're not supposed to date, because you're still manipulative. You're still in that mentality.
Yeah.
Say, I can't. Like I need
Mm.
to move, relocate, and change everything.
Mm. So you were in Kensington. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Wow. Can you
that's
share?
the
A
only
lot of
place I
people don't
went.
know about Kensington. So talk about Kensington for a few minutes. Just, act like people are from out of town and they don't know nothing about Kensington.
So
Because
I
we got
tell
Skid
people like
Row over
this, man.
here.
It's like if you ever seen The Walking Dead, like the show,
Hmm.
that's like how it looks. You got people that's been using. People are hunched over, like completely hunched over. Human feces everywhere.
Like on
People say like
this is on the
on the
street.
street, on the street. people are laying down on one piece of cardboard, but there's urine, the sidewalk soaked with urine. Every corner that you go to, it don't matter if it's A Street, B Street, C Street, there's dope. There, you can hear it in the air, just dope, dope, dope. People just, it's an open market for drug use. Cops, I used to do my drugs and I used to have to shoot up in my neck. So unless it's a shooting, a murder, someone's dead, the cops don't care. Kensington is
Wow.
a Disneyland for drug addicts, is the way I like to explain it. And I always knew about Kensington,
Uh-huh.
but there were certain people I was hanging out with that asked me to take them up there, and that was like my first time actually being in Kensington. And then I did some of the stuff, excuse me, that was up there, and it was very cheap. Everything's very cheap. So I knew, damn, this stuff is better and it's cheaper. That's how I discovered it. I remembered where I took him, started going there, then you start exploring. Other people got better stuff. So it was a matter of going up there with somebody, and then after that it was over. I
And
couldn't, and then they started putting xylazine in their dope trank. So, once you start doing that, that's like a whole, it's worse than fentanyl, it's
talk
worse than
about
heroin.
xylazine for a little bit because a lot of people don't even know about xylazine. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you could break that down. And did you find that?
So
Did you get introduced to xylazine in Kensington?
yeah.
Okay.
So I was actually up there with a buddy, and there was these people walking past, and they're like, they asked us, who has dope that has trank in it? I said, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you didn't start doing it, please stay away from it because it's like a whole new monster.
These
But
are these
they
are drug
started
addicts saying
incorporating it.
that? The
Yeah,
drug
yeah,
addicts are warning you not to take that
telling
drug.
you,
Okay.
don't. He said, don't start it because like I had seizures coming off of it and stuff like that. So I didn't take that. I didn't, I was just like, whatever. But they started incorporating it in all the drugs anyway. Um,
It's like lacing it.
Xylazine is a horse tranquilizer.
Okay.
They call it trank. I don't know like the full scientific background about it, but I think it originally came from Puerto Rico. I could be wrong.
Hmm.
Horse tranquilizer. And yeah, it caused me to have multiple seizures. You get sick within an hour or two of doing your last shot or whatever you do.
Mm.
It's terrible. And that's also a part of the reason why I got clean, because of the trank. Like, it wasn't even fun to do. You go right to sleep and you wake up sick as a dog.
But it's highly addictive.
Highly addictive, yes. Physically, you'll be so physically dependent on it that if you thought you would do anything for heroin or fentanyl, it's like literally life or death with those withdrawals. So you'd have to do whatever it takes to get it. Yeah. I did, at least. I did.
And so people are out there on the trank, going to sleep, waking up,
Their
fiending.
arms, it's eating their arms. My girlfriend's a nurse at a rehab. With my fiance, I gotta say fiance. Don't get mad at
What
me.
rehab is she a nurse at?
White Deer Run, Allenwood,
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
Is it like a private rehab?
But huh?
Is it like a private rehab?
No, it's I had Medicaid, I had state insurance,
Okay. Okay.
and I got in. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I recommend people in the area all the time. I give them that number.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she's seen people. It eats your skin, like that crocodile stuff. I guess they had in wherever they had it.
Yeah.
It literally eats your skin. I've seen people shoot up in open flesh. Um, it's bad, man. It's
Wow.
terrible.
Wow. So
Yeah.
so you got on the trank, and how did you like? What was that day like when you decided you had to get off the trank? Like, talk about that.
Well, so the day I was willing, or an involuntary day?
What
Because
came
there was a
first? What
couple.
came first?
First, it was the involuntary
Okay,
day.
let's run
So
that.
I got locked up. I got pulled over with a friend. I had a fugitive warrant. This was in Delaware.
Uh huh.
I had a fugitive warrant in Pennsylvania just for a parole violation. Uh, so we get pulled over. In Delaware, you have to give the cops your name. It's not like PA if you're a passenger. So gave him my name. I had the warrant. Me at the time, I'm like, yeah, I just got out of rehab. My PO just didn't get my rehab papers yet. It was a lie.
Hmm.
Um, so they took my mugshot, and when I see my mugshot, that's when I realized I was like, I look really fucked up. My
Do you,
skin was gray.
can you get it for us?
What was that?
Can you get that mugshot for us?
I've been trying. Listen,
Okay.
I have some pictures I can give you guys.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I can't find any of my mugshots.
Okay. Okay.
For some reason online, I don't know. I even asked my cousin who's a cop, and he, you know. But so yeah, when I seen that picture, I really wish I could get it. Um, I looked at it, and before when I was in my addiction, I would look at my pictures and thought I looked all right. Um, when I seen that mugshot, it's just I had no soul in my eyes, like.
Mhm.
And then when I'm sitting in the holding cell, my bail was only $200. Nobody would bail me out. When I got to the jail, I just I felt the sniffles coming.
Mm.
My back started to hurt. I started to sweat. And there was actually somebody that came in with me that did the same dope. They went up Philly and would get the same stuff I did.
Mm.
Um, and that any withdrawal times 10. I never
Mm.
thought it could get worse than fentanyl.
Wow.
Throwing up. And in Delaware, they have 3-man bunks. Um, and the person I was cellies with in intake, they sold drugs in Wilmington, and he was like, looking at you, I don't even want to sell this shit no more. Excuse my language.
Dang.
Yeah. Um,
Wow.
yeah. I started having a
So
seizure on
then,
the top bunk
no.
in the jail, and they were actually the guards were on the block because I think someone attempted to hang himself. So they were already on the block. And he started banging, and I remember him banging, and then remember waking up with the nurse on top of me on the third bunk, hit me with smelling salts. She said she was sternum rubbing me for 10 seconds. I didn't react. That was the beginning of a very long couple weeks until I got bailed out.
So then, how did you get clean?
So I believe it was I got out of jail in Delaware. That was the last time I was in there. My mom bailed me out and
Mm-hmm.
said if she bails me out, I need to go to rehab. Um, so I got out, I went on the run a little bit again. Like I started getting high a little bit.
Yeah.
But I called White Deer Run in November. Um, I was there from November till December, and
Okay.
then went to a recovery house in Chester. Started getting high immediately.
Mm.
Called White Deer Run back. Um, Went back January 12th, and I stayed there for 74 days.
Good.
Yeah.
And the 74 days got you to stick
Oh,
with it.
listen, I was the head of chair on my unit for 6 weeks. Um, it felt good, man, because something about that rehab, like that stay for me, mentally, spiritually, everything. I
Mm-hmm.
just knew what I wanted at that
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just all around, I knew what I didn't want to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to get clean. And then I went to a halfway house for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that also helped me with getting back into working again, having
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities, some structure. So yeah, all that was my last attempt to get clean, and it was successful.
Wow. I love it, man. So we're running out of time, man, but I'm gonna definitely have to get you on here again, maybe in a couple weeks,
Yeah, that
because
went
I know
quick,
you're
man.
full.
But
I know you're
I
full
hope
of
it was all right.
stories. I know you're full of stories, but for the next 2 minutes, man, all I want you to do is just encourage people out there because we got moms, we got dads, we got
Yeah.
people who are struggling with addiction, um, and so just let it rip, man. Encourage them, and go ahead.
So, to anybody who's struggling, just know that it's possible. I've been there. I've been starving, cold, um, wanting to kill myself, getting ready to. Um, but there's something to fight for, man. It doesn't have to be like that. And anybody that has a family member that's struggling or addicted, even mentally unstable, be there for them. Don't put them down. No matter what, putting them down may feel good to you, but we know what we're doing when we're getting high. It eats us up. So you just have to be there for them, even if it's tough love, but don't put them down. Um, because we get clean, and when we get clean, it's a beautiful thing because we have a lot to make up for. Um, and we will. Just don't overwhelm yourself if you're trying to get clean. Take it day by day, because if you stress yourself out trying to think what the future is going to bring, that always led to my relapse. So don't stress yourself. Don't give up on nobody. Um, there's resources, there's numbers, there's people, and there's people sharing our stories to help y'all. So anybody can always reach out to me. I'm sure to you guys.
Yep.
I would definitely appreciate getting back on here because we can get into it
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a link in our bio. Anyone who needs help, anyone who's struggling, anyone even with mental health, you might feel overwhelmed. Maybe you've been sober for 6 months or a year or even less, but you still feel like mentally you're not doing good. We have a lot of resources for mental health. So
Mhm.
please hit the link in the bio. Somebody will reach out to you, and let's keep sharing. Let's keep spreading the word. And let's keep helping people. Let's keep using our story. And like your shirt says, we're going to recover loudly. But I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you coming on, man. I'm for sure going to bring you back.
I
And
appreciate it.
we'll see you guys next time.